Good afternoon. I am Judy Roenicke. For those of you who don't know me, I am the president of the Birmingham Musicale, and this is our February program. And I want to start with a couple of, welcome you, by the way. And we have some people from Clausen here, as well as, there's one over here, and there's three ladies back there, as well as we've got friends here as well. And we got a lot of members. Welcome. So what I wanted to do here is start out by saying we have had a lot of publicity for this meeting, and Jan Stafford has made a green, and did everybody get one? A green reminder for our March 9 program, which is not going to be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because we wanted to try having an evening program. So it will be at 7:30 in this room. Yeah, we know it's here. It's right here. It's written on this green sheet. So please take this, put it on your refrigerator, and come back, because we have not only some of our members who are going to present some opera to us, because we're trying something new, but we also have invited guests from the Tuesday Greater Pontiac Musicale, and they play bells. It's a group called Bellissima, and there are, 15 ladies who, and they're really, really good. So I would encourage you to come back to hear this program, because it's going to be a grand presentation. What I have over here is a little display that I wanted to explain, because some of you don't know what I'm up to. I have here some valentines that I would like to get out to some of our members who cannot get here to meetings. Now, this is not a complete list, believe me. That's why I have given you an envelope which could go to one of these valentines. They are all the same size, so you can just pick an envelope, pick a valentine, and send it. There are also some blank envelopes, because you may know of somebody who needs one that you could send it to them, because I didn't put an address on a few of them. And I have a list here of all 10 that I have been contacting just recently. I contact them all the time, but I have some people like Marie Benke can't come because she's at Baldwin House. She's 100 years old, and she can't get a ride. Well, then Grace Brockett is home ill. She's hopefully not for very long. But anyway, Kay Kingsbury called me back after I sent her the last card thinking of you. She has been coming to this group for years and years and years. She's one of our oldest members, and she was thrilled that somebody bothered to give her a thinking of you card. So that would be a good thing. Don Kleckner is unfortunately with hospice. He has cancer of the liver, and he was a viola player, and he's put his viola away. So we need to remember Don. Cheryl Lexell last week had very serious back surgery. She is a string player, plays second violin. And Mary Jane O'Brien can't come because she's in a wheelchair, and her daughter, she lives in Birmingham, her daughter is taking care of her. Colette Rosner lives out on Drake Road at the Four Seasons. Unfortunately, they have transportation. Fortunately, they have transportation. Unfortunately, they won't bring her this far, even if she pays. And there's nobody else out there who can give her a ride, so she needs a card. Polly Tan plays piano for several, she's one of our newest members. She plays for several churches, and on her way home, beginning of December, she had a car accident in a snowstorm and spent the entire month of December in the hospital, and is just getting around now. Angela Klakowski is one of our older members. I think she's 94 now, because she was 91 when she quit playing second violin with the string orchestra. And she is now living on Lincoln, East Lincoln. So if you got an address in your directory, it's not correct, but it's correct on here. Also, Nancy Schimmerhorn had a little accident with her car, and she is a... What's the matter? Nancy's here! Nancy! Well, it's good to see you, girl. I didn't expect you. Good. Hey, give her a hand. Well, she had an accident and was not driving anymore, and somebody got her here. Thank you, Nancy. I didn't realize you snuck in. Welcome. But anyway, I have these addresses here, and if you know of anybody else, please take advantage of your directory and send cards to these people. This will be out on the back table so that you may take what you need. Maybe 3 or 4 of you can sign one card to a person, and if you really get stuck and there's not a second address, you can pull these off of here and use them because they're not sacred. And we have a very wonderful program planned for you for today. My good friend, what am I thinking here? My mind went blank. I know, Lillian. Well, I've got so many things on my mind. Sorry. This is Lillian Dean, and we are sponsors of the Royal Oak Symphony as well as Spectrum Orchestra. And Lillian plays primary clarinet with the Royal Oak, and she has brought her friends to come and put a program on for you, and they've worked very, very hard for this program. I know, because I've seen you play in Royal Oak, and I've seen you play out in Pontiac. So welcome to our chairman of the day, Lillian.
Right. Thank you, Judy. Thanks a lot. My remarks and welcome are very brief. On behalf of all of our musicians, we want to thank the Birmingham Musicale for the opportunity to play. This concert began in the planning stages 2 years ago during COVID. Our theme is Earth Voices, the Terra Voce Ensemble, which I'm delighted to be part of, and to invite our wonderful flutes from the Royal Oak Symphony. Friends, how many of you are in the Royal Oak Symphony? Hands, please. Yeah, bravo, thank you. We always appreciate friends coming, cheering section. So I just want to call your attention to the 3 parts of the program, each of which will be introduced separately in terms of the music. Do you all have the white sheet? Okay, on the back of the white sheet is our bios, which we normally might read off, but no, you can read them for yourself. But our first group will be the flute trio, and then we'll transition to the Amy Beach piano trio, and then a little quartet music. So again, thank you for coming, and I'm going to turn the microphone over to Robyn Meyer to introduce the flute. The wee flutes. It's a brand new name. It's great. Robyn.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, I should say. Thank you so much for coming out. I'm Robyn Myers. Next to me is Jennie Spenner and Lisa Wade. And as Lillian said, we are the flute section for the Royal Oak Symphony. Concert March 3rd, 8 o'clock. Our first composition is by James Hook, and he was born in Norwich, England in 1746 and was a very popular contributor to London musical life in the 18th and early 19th centuries. In addition to a highly successful career as a composer, chiefly of light stage works and popular songs, he was a celebrated performer on and teacher of organ and piano. It is quite likely that he also played the flute, since in his youth he advertised that he was prepared to teach the instrument, so let's hope he did play. He died in Boulogne, France in 1827, and this composition, he wrote about 18 to 20 works for the flute, and the trio that we're about to play can be found in the British Museum in London. So without further ado, we will be doing trio number 1 of James Hook. Thank you so much. Our next piece that we have for you, we have performed fairly recently. It was around Christmas time. The piece is called Snowflake, and it has absolutely nothing at all to do with Christmas. So we decided to, since it's winter, that we would introduce it to this program, and it's by Hayato Hirose. And basically, he saw it as a snowflake, is a flower that is native to Europe that blooms in early spring. And another variety in the Americas and Europe is called the summer snowflake, and it blossoms in early summer. The sentiment, he said, of this flower is of purity and innocence, and he felt that these words perfectly described a gorgeous flute sound. Therefore, he imagined the tonal color of the flower as he composed this trio. And the elegant introduction, as you will hear, is followed by an energetic, fast tempo section, and the beauty and the grace of this flower is reflected in the slower section, and the fast section returns at the end, leading to a very alluring conclusion. So let's hope we can emulate the beautiful flute sounds that he imagined as we present Snowflake by Hayato Hirose.
American composer Amy Beach was born in 1867 in New Hampshire into a musical family. Her musical talents and skills became apparent very early in her life. Her mother was an excellent pianist and singer, and Amy showed every sign of being a child prodigy. She was able to sing 40 songs accurately by age 1. She was able to compose counter melodies by age 2, and she taught herself to read at age 3. At age 4, she could also play music by ear, including 4-part hymns. Her family struggled to keep up with her musical interests and demands. Amy often commanded what music was to be played in the home and how, becoming enraged if it did not meet her standards. This was at age 4. She made her concert debut at age 16, and it was a great success. By age 18, she married a doctor who was 24 years her senior, and he was very controlling and forbade her from teaching piano, limited her performances, but insisted that she focus on her composition. Amy composed a wide variety of works, symphonies, chamber music, and vocal songs, which are all well loved to this day. This piano trio was composed at the end of her life when she was 70 years old, and draws on themes and ideas from some of her earlier compositions. She composed this trio in just 15 days. The debut performance was in 1939 with Amy at the piano.
Jackson Berkey, known as a 20th and 21st century romantic. Also a child prodigy, was a very advanced pianist by age 5. He studied at Eastman, and then financial troubles. He dropped out and he wandered around trying to figure out his musical career. Somehow got back and somehow managed to finish a master's at Juilliard. Eventually, some of you may know this name, eventually he found a partnership with Chip Davis, who was into 18th century rock. Anyone remember the Mannheim Steamroller? He was associated with that. And Berkey's music has been with many chamber groups, piano music, also some vocal music. And when we finish, we will do 3 movements of the 4 movements, starting with Blindengarten and Autumn Brilliance, followed by French Mountain Village. And all of these pieces are so evocative, very tonal, very romantic, and you can sort of get lost in the sound. For instance, the Autumn Brilliance, hopefully you'll just hear those leaves rustling and falling. And the French Mountain Village, we always like to think, let's get away from a day like it is outside here, go to a beautiful sunny mountain village and have coffee and a croissant or a glass of wine. And then the first one we'll play is called Blindengarten, and it's Garden of the Blind. So imagine you're walking and you're not seeing, but you're sensing. They dare not wander from the path, for grass is not raised on the map, and it offers an uncertain way to those who cannot navigate by stars. And when we finish these pieces, we will offer you one very short little finale that is familiar to everyone.
never disappoint. They always play beautifully, and thank you so very much. And little do you know, when you began to play that first Amy Beach, the sun came out. They brought the sunshine. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for coming today, and I hope you all enjoyed it half as much as I did, because I really have enjoyed this program. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, thank you.